Beginning of the year, you need to start right mentally. People say that, yes, it may be the beginning of the year, but if you don't change, nothing would change, really. So we want to help you have a good start. I'm joined in the studio now by Dr. Albert Sedoahia, right?
Sedoahia.
Sedoahia, yes. Thank you so much. Happy New Year to you, first of all, Doc.
Happy everything.
And good morning to you.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us.
Welcome.
And Doc Sedoahia is a psychiatrist with the Kolebu Teaching Hospital.
Yeah.
Once again, thank you for joining us. So, of course, beginning of the year, how do I begin to declutter my mind, as it were, just so I can really have a fresh start as the beginning of the year?
Okay, so I can't see the calendar that makes us have beginning of the year, end of the year, but life is actually a continuum. Yeah. There's not like starting of the year. 31st is the same as there's 24 hours, you understand? But what a lot of people do is when they begin the year, they try to do what they call the New Year resolutions, and that in itself puts a lot of pressure on them. And the pressure is not necessarily from life, it's about what they compare themselves to, mostly to the progress of other people, and worst of it all to social media highlights, what they see out there on social media. Most of them are not able to tell reality from what is content.
That they won't put their saddest moment on there.
Yes, nobody does that. And so the pressure, a lot of people, is because of the comparison with the progress of others. There's no universal time for success. So the best time to start is now. There's no point in living with regrets and not being happy with how far you've come. Whatever you want to do, you start from wherever you are, and then you're able to achieve something. You have to be gentle with yourself.
Not everybody gentle with yourself. I love that. Not everybody perhaps might have had a good 2025, and there could be so much pressure. Perhaps some people are in debt, others relationship-wise didn't go well. How do you begin to put those things behind you so you can start the year better?
So the past cannot be changed. It's what you can do is to learn from them. All right. So the best way to deal with pressure is to expect it. Life is full of stress. There's no smooth road anywhere, especially in our Ghana roads. There's always potholes somewhere. So expect that there will be some level of stress in maybe at your workplace, in your home, in your relationship, with your finances. The wealthiest people are still looking for money. So there's always asking for more or wanting more. So expect to have some level of stress in your life. So when it comes, you're not too surprised, you're not taken aback. You need to learn to manage your expectations. Know that once there's life, there's risk of death. Once there's marriage, there's risk of divorce. Once there's a good relationship, there's a risk of a bad relationship. Once there's satiety, satisfaction, there's risk of dissatisfaction. Once you have these as things you know are real, when the opposite happens, you're not taken aback too much. You just have to reposition yourself and then know how to go through it.
I may hear it, but how? How do I go about it?
You don't work alone. Human beings, we are social beings. So you need to have a good support system, friends, family, people you look up to, people you depend on. You need to be able to sit across the table with your mentors. The best, nobody's going to live long enough to have all the experiences in life. So it's best, the wise one is the one who learns from the mistakes of other people, because you don't want to be the one necessarily going through them. So it's okay to interact frequently with your mentors. So they share with you how they are doing it, how they've done it, and help you avoid easily avoidable mistakes in life.
So, for instance, you talk about friends as well. For those who are disappointed in friends, because a friend is somebody who stays with you both difficult times and in good times.
Yes.
For those who have had friends desert them during the very difficult moments of their lives, they seem to, claw back a little bit just because they don't trust that the people will be there to help them. How do they begin to reorient their minds that not everybody is like that, and they can still have the kind of support system they need?
So first of all, again, it's about expectations. Disappointment is part of life. People disappointing you is part of life. Don't expect 100% perfection from anybody. Progress is what you have to work towards. So the good thing is, for friends, you have a choice to make them. You choose them. They are not forced on you. It's not like family members who you have to live with, whether you like it or not. With friends, you have the choice to choose who you want to be friends with you, and you learn from your past. What did you do wrong that ended the friendship badly? So you don't repeat that in your next friendship with other people. So you have the choice. But the point is, you cannot survive in isolation. It's not the best. So you still need to have people that you talk with, people who are friends, who also depend on you. So you have the choice to choose who comes to your inner circle.
If there were some steps to follow in order to ensure that you're in the right frame of mind. Of course, you said that don't. You've said a few things. What are the practical steps? Not necessarily like a verbatim kind of thing that somebody must follow in order to have that kind of mindset, because sometimes they say it's easier said than done.
It always is just, theory is always easier than practicals, but you see, sometimes you have to put the theory into practice to see the results. So first of all, you need to know that you have to be gentle with yourself. That's what it is. You have to be gentle with yourself.
Explain it further.
Sometimes we put too much restrictions on ourselves. I have to achieve this by this time. If I don't, it means I've failed. You haven't failed. There's a lot you've learned through the journey. The process is more important than the product. So you are going through a process to attain an end goal. You might not reach there within a stipulated time, but you've learned a few things along the line. You are where you are now, but you are not used to where you were in the past. Wherever you are in your journey is better than where you started from. So you have to be gentle with yourself. Set realistic goals. That's what we call the SMART. Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. It has to be realistic. Sometimes some of the goals people set is because they are competing in their mind with someone else. They are trying to achieve something that someone else has achieved, maybe easily. We are all different. Some things come easily to some people, and some people find it more difficult to achieve.
So you need to know yourself then.
That's the best thing anybody can do for themselves, knowing who you are, knowing yourself, so that you know what is easy for you to do and what may be difficult. And if you know you find yourself having challenges with certain things, ask for help. Asking for help doesn't make you a weakling. It doesn't make you not strong enough. It just means you know what you can do and what you can't do. Because what comes easy to you may not come easy to another person.
And then you made another interesting point, which is that you may not be where you want to be, but you're not where you used to be,
Very
which is
important.
a statement that we hear all the time. That requires some sort of introspection, right? How do I take stock of, okay, I wanted to do A, but I couldn't do A, but I realized that in B, I was better. How do I begin to process all of that and eventually say that I may not be here, but I am okay with where I am?
It's being fully aware of what you're going through. So you have a target in mind to achieve. You need to be assessing yourself as you go along the way. You need to be gratitude. You need to be aware of the things that you have as against the things that you may not have yet. There are a lot of people who lose sight of the fact that they're able to breathe without an oxygen mask. They're able to eat on their own. They're able to lift their arm on their own. There are people who will pay $1 million just if the doctors can help them lift their arm.
Yep.
But we take a lot of things for granted. We are not fully aware of where we are and what we are doing and what we have access to. So as you go along the journey, you need to be fully aware of the things at your disposal that you may take for granted if you're not careful, so that you appreciate the process as you go through it. And surely, you will get to the end point.
How do words help in shaping our minds and helping us cope with situations? Asking that question in relation to a book I read many years ago where, and you mentioned Be Gentle with Yourself, where the author said, instead of saying, I should, I must, you should say, I would try. At least it reduces the pressure of wanting to achieve it by all means, irrespective, even if you don't have what it takes at that moment. How do you think this year words should play a role in helping you be in that mental moment which is healthy for you?
You know, by default, we think negatively. It's a defense mechanism that we all, because if you hear a roar outside, you're supposed to think it's a lion until proven otherwise. You're not likely to say, oh, it's likely a toy or they're playing some sound from the speaker. No. So we think negatively by default. However, it doesn't help, all right? Words help you think. So what you think on mostly, your dominant thought is mostly about what you hear, what you are exposed to. And now your thought will lead to your belief. And your belief will lead to your emotions. And then your emotions will advise your actions. So if you confess positivity, you tell yourself positive self-talk. I can do, I will do, those things to yourself, you're likely to think more positive. feel more positive and most likely to do positive stuff.
Okay, so it just reminded me of, for instance, the religious folks who probably would say, I have money, I have money, I have money, and at the end of the day, they will still have nothing in their pocket.
Yeah,
is that not positive?
It is, but that's not the end. You don't just confess positivity and expect positivity. You need to do something about it. So the words has to go with actions. Your belief has to go with actions. So that's the both have to work together.
And again, in terms of seeking help,
Yes.
how do I, aside from people, because you don't just go to anybody and say that I need help. How do I identify the kind of person I need and the kind of help I even need to help me move forward?
Okay, so with that, the first point of call is family. You know, they are the first, mostly they are the first people to notice if there's a change, if you're not being yourself. You are used to be bubbly, you know, all over the place, but now you are gloomy, you are isolating, you're not eating well, you're not taking good care of yourself. So they are the first likely people to notice the change. So they are the first people who are likely to going to come to your aid. So if you have any challenges, you can speak with people in your family, because at least you can trust them to some level. If that fails, or in addition to that, you can seek help from professionals, psychiatrists, psychologists, counselors, mentors. These are people that are all over the place. You seek help from them, and you're able to get the necessary help.
Sometimes people may have all of these, but they are still stuck in their mental state. For people in that situation, how would you expect them to take a step forward, at least to get out of the muddiness, as it were, they find themselves in?
Whatever is causing the muddiness, there's a solution to it. So you have to live with the principle that every problem has a solution. Once you start from that basics, every problem has a solution. If you've not found a solution yet, doesn't mean it doesn't exist. You haven't found it yet. So you go looking for it, and there are people trained to offer that solution. If you're going through challenges, anxiety, depression, any form of challenges you might have, it's most likely because of something that has triggered it. So there are professionals trained to help you with that. If you are in pain, there are painkillers. If you are going through some challenges, there are ways to solve it. So you go seeking help from those people. The only problem most of the time is you may not be aware that you are having some challenges.
Exactly.
So it may be on your blind spot. That's why friends and family who are close to you are advised to seek help on and on behalf of you.
How easy or difficult is it to identify your own triggers, things that trigger you and, get you into a place you don't want to be?
Sometimes after repeated things happening to you, you may be able to notice a pattern that if you go through a heartbreak, this is how you behave. If you're disappointed after a job interview, this is how you behave. If something doesn't go well, this is how you behave, because people might have told you severally. So it's not always easy, but if you trust your friends, that they will not say anything that is not there, that is not real, you just go with what they are saying. If they're telling you need to speak to somebody, then you just listen to them and just do exactly that.
And you would hear some doctors also say that it is not always about the people around you, but also changing your lifestyle, leaving your diet, your sleep, and all of that. To what extent do these contribute? And if you could take them one by one for us?
Yeah, all these helps a lot. So apart from your friends and everything, your regular exercise, it's for your immunity, for your emotional stability, your mental health. Regular exercise helps a lot. And then, of course, your diet, what you eat, what you put in there. Weight is about input, output. If you put in more than you lose, definitely you're going to store more, so you're going to put on more weight. So good diet, regular exercise, good friends, good support system, and, of course, make sure you have some money.
Make sure you have some money. Okay. In this part of the world, we don't really have a lot of issues when it comes to body shaming, but there are still some people who probably may be trying to lose weight because they have imagined themselves in a particular shape, yes. And those who also want to gain.
Yes.
When the thing is not coming as quickly as possible, either you want to reduce or you want to gain, how do they get to position the mind so that they are able to know that they are making progress somehow?
So the focus is not to wish to attain perfection. You appreciate the progress that you are making. So say you started the year with, say, 100 kilograms, and by June, you are 95. Your target by June was maybe 70. You might not have gotten there yet, but you also know where you used to be. So appreciate the progress and ask yourself, what did you do right? What did you do right? There are professionals to help expedite that process. There are dietitians, there are gym instructors, there are a lot of other things to do to expedite the process. There's no quick fix. There's no sustainable quick fix to anything. So if you get a quick fix, it's difficult to sustain it. Rather than going through the mill and going through the process of achieving the target that you have in mind. So if you are not there yet, still remain motivated to achieve your goal, but again, be gentle with yourself. You might just have to tweak a thing or two in whatever process you are going through.
When you watch weight loss programs, the reality programs, they are always on the scale. Is it advisable if you're looking forward to losing weight mentally to be checking your weight like every day? I mean, how do I go about it so I'm comfortable, but I also know that what I'm doing is working?
So instead of checking your weight, that's anxiety. You're like, anytime you go check, it's 91. Oh, it's never going down. It won't go down miraculously. It will take time. And that 91 will then become 89, then maybe become 88, then maybe 85. Sometimes there's an exponential jump. From 85, you might go to 75. You don't have to always be checking it every day. Maybe do it twice a week and just be recording it and monitor the progress. Don't just expect the results. Be willing to go through the mill, the process that will yield the result that you are expecting. So it's not about checking the weight that makes the weight go down. It's about watching what you put in and working on how you lose what you are already storing. So it's not about checking your weight every day that makes your weight go down. Now, and you have to accept yourself. Not everybody is going to look like 1, and not everybody is going to look like 3.
Okay.
Everybody is wonderfully and beautifully created by God. You should accept yourself first, so you don't compare yourself to another person.
But there are those who knew, for instance, those who have weight now, they knew that this is how it used to look like, maybe as a result of circumstances, maybe for the women, after giving birth and all of that, they've put on weight. They're trying to, even if get the original size, get a bit closer to it. And so they may have a case.
They have a case, but again, management of expectations. Pregnancy and delivery comes with weight gain. You were once, say, a size, whatever it was, you are likely to get back there, but it will take time. Especially if you've been pregnant back to back, your system is not likely to revert back to how you were before. Sometimes it's a sacrifice, it's the price you pay for the joy of motherhood. And there are people who will pay $1 million to be in your shoe. Because they wish to be called a biological mother, but they are not there yet. So it's about being grateful for what you have. You went through a process to give birth. The price you gave was you put on some weight. You're likely to lose some. You may never get back to how you were, but nobody is ever the same every day. We all change over time. So it's not about perfection, the progress, and the fact that you are grateful that there was a price you paid to give birth, to have this joy of motherhood. So sometimes there's a trade-off. Sometimes there's a trade-off. You have to give something to get something. But it's achievable to get back to whatever weight you desire to. It might just take a little longer. Doesn't mean it will never get there. So enjoying the process of whatever it is you want to achieve is more important than expecting a quick result. So enjoy the process of going to the gym. Enjoy the process of being on diet. Enjoy the process of appreciating the product of the sacrifice you give. There are a lot of women who go through cesarean section, who put on a lot of weight, and there's a lot of change in their body shape and everything. If you consider that there's a woman who will pay $1 million to be called a biological mother, the sort of, being how your weight was will vanish.
So it means that you can still appreciate every moment you find yourself in. That's what you're saying,
essentially. Every moment you enjoy it. You become fully aware of whatever it is that is at your disposal. At that point, your weight may not be as desired, but what is at your disposal at that point? You have a baby, you have a child. You are called a mother, a biological mother. You have a family. There are people who are single, who are not even in a relationship. You are married or you have a child. So there are a lot of things working for you that you should focus on. No one has everything that they want in life. There are always ups and downs. So that again is about expectations. There's always going to be ups and downs. If you expect it, if you are pregnant, once you get pregnant, expect that you're going to put on some weight. So that when it comes, it's not surprising. So you see, if you were not expecting that I was figure so and so, you were not expecting that if I get pregnant, I'll put on weight. Then it comes like, how come? No. You expect that you are likely to put on some weight. And again, your genetics is not the same as another person's.
Yeah.
So somebody might give birth and go back to their former shape. You are not that person. That person is not you. We are all different. How we handle things are differ from one person to the other.
Indeed. And one of the things which you mentioned earlier, which also puts a lot of pressure on people, is finances.
Yes.
There are people who are working a lot and are expecting to see at least a certain level of financial stability, and they are still not getting there, and it looks like they will never get there. What do you tell them mentally to handle this?
So everything is achievable, but you see, it's about adding value to yourself. Whatever it is you're doing, if you add value, it's not about the hours you spend at the table. It's about the value you bring to the table. So a specialist comes to speak with somebody for 5 minutes and get paid an amount of money that somebody will have to work for the whole month for.
A whole year
For. The difference is the value that specialist brings on board, that consultant brings on board, as compared to everybody else. So wherever you are, first of all, aside appreciating what you have, you don't have to necessarily settle. Add value to yourself. Acquire more qualifications, more experience, all that, as you position yourself for greater heights. So appreciate what you have, but add value to yourself, because the moment you add value to yourself, how much you are paid for your hours change.
Another area that you mentioned again has to do with relationships.
Yes.
What do you tell? And you know, I was happy when you mentioned that you're married complaining, somebody is single.
Yes.
How do you, what word do you have for those who perhaps are single, want to get married, those who are married feel like, I wish I never got married? And whichever stage they find themselves in terms of relationship, what word do you have for them?
So life is it's a cocktail. There are good moments, there are bad moments. Those in a relationship, good moment, bad moment. Those who are single, good moment, bad moment. So you appreciate the good and you manage the bad. You understand? If you're in a relationship, if it's going on well, it won't go on well forever if you stop doing what was making it go on well. You understand? So it's about expectations management in every aspect of life. Yes. So if you are single and you're looking to go into a relationship, it's work. You have to put in some work. If you're in marriage, you have to put in some work. Social media is what has distorted a lot of perceptions of almost all of us. Everybody, these days, people marry yesterday and they're on TikTok or wherever with couples contents. And they're the happiest in the whole world. There's nothing like that. It's not real. Do you understand? Nobody puts out their sad moments. In our line of work, I get to see people who are smiling to the camera, who are happy looking on camera, but they're in my consulting room sobbing, crying. Yeah. And I have to keep dishing out the tissue like that. But if you go look at their timeline, they look happier than everybody else on earth.
Yeah.
But here so what we all need to know is everybody is fighting a silent battle.
Yeah.
Just yesterday I was with my godfather and he said the same words, that there are people who depend on him. And I was with this man who was kind of dishing out rice and money to people. They keep telling me, oh, we just came to greet you. We all used to do that those days. And they come for money. But he told me, son, a lot of people don't even know I have challenges of my own.
Yeah.
They have their own perception of what I am supposed to be. They feel I have everything. No. Every individual is fighting a silent battle. Nobody comes telling everybody or has it on their forehead what they are going through. We all try to
compose ourselves.
You know, be in an act mode and all that. Yeah. So everybody's fighting a silent battle. Whatever you are going through, you are not alone.
You're not alone. Well, any final word? 30 seconds.
Okay, so what I would say is the year has started. There's no universal time for success. Whatever it is you want to achieve, be gentle with yourself, set realistic goals, and enjoy the process till you get there.
Be gentle with yourself. You've said it several times,
Yes.
and I love it. Just, be kind to yourself. Thank you so much, Dr.
Most
Albert
welcome.
Sedo here,
Yes.
a psychiatrist with the Kolegu Teaching Hospital. Thank you for coming in and sharing those thoughts with us. Yes, so hope you got something that would help you start your year right. But